I've spent $10,802 on Whiteout Survival. It's day 80, and we're in the middle of state versus state prep. We're on day 2. This is probably going to be my weakest day. I actually don't have a lot of spending to do today either, because I spent a little bit more after recording on charms because I realized that the custom artistry chest was going to be going away. So I had to buy some more of that. So I used the calculator, figured out what else I needed for charms so that when we have another charms day, I have that ready to go, because that was a good deal for charms. But today, the only spending I'm going to do is I'm going to wait on the custom pet chest. This I have another day on, so I'm going to wait on the stamina packs. We're going to need that for Beast Day most likely, but I already did buy a lot of that already. I don't really need the widgets because I'm not going to press that too far. I am going to grab the daily deals. And then I'm going to grab my weekly stuff here. And you know what? Just because it comes with a few more fire crystals, I'm going to grab this as well to renew that. And that'll give me my 10 more, or 7 more. So now I've got remaining claims 10. And that's looking good for that right now. I'm not going to worry about the weekly pet one right now. The only reason I grabbed that one is because of pets, because of the fire crystals. And then that's it. That's the spending for tonight. So here's where the VIP is at. After that spend, grab the VIP deal. All right, now that's really all the spending I have to do, because if we look here, it's a Lucky Wheel day. And we have the Vault of Enigma, but there's nothing in here that I really want, and I don't think it's that great a value. I will do I've already got Alonzo maxed out, so I don't really need to do much with this. I already have a bunch of General Hero shards, so I'm good to go there. You know, I'll do the lantern later. Nothing super exciting there. So that's it. That's all we have here. And we look at, this was the deal section. So that's all we have. And if we look at what's going on with the state of power, day 2. So let's take a look at day 1 first of all. Some of you didn't realize towards the end of that video yesterday, in the push I did yesterday, I did post my points. I did put a little bit more points on the board just because I did a little bit more charms, because I wasn't sure how things were going to land. It was a close point spread yesterday, so I put some more points on the board essentially. So here's how we're doing today so far, but I don't think a lot of our whales are online yet. Of course, I'm just getting started recording. You can see the total points in the bottom there. You can see how we did yesterday. So things are looking all right. I think things are looking pretty good as far as total points, and we'll see how today goes. They are putting some points on the board. If we look at, where things stand for today, this is what things look like. I don't know if I'm going to be able to put that many points on the board today. I think this is probably going to be my worst day of all the phases. So let's see how things go. So if we look at what the targets are today, we of course have fire crystals still with the speed ups. Really, this is a day of Lucky Wheel, shards, and some gathering. So I do have some gathering out. I already had one that came in after the reset to grab some points, some early points. Not much, but that's some early points. But really, I think this is more of a day about the Lucky Wheel and Hero Shards. But of course, there are the fire crystals in there as well. It looks to me like they held some fire crystals back because they figured they couldn't win day 1, and they're trying to maybe rank for day 2, which is kind of smart. But the only thing I have for fire crystals, I think I can do an upgrade. Let me speed this up. We do get points for this speed up, although it's not Troops Day. And yeah, so I can at least do one of these. I guess I have nothing else to do construction-wise today, but just for good measure and not to be wasteful, I will pop we still have the construction buff from yesterday. The president did eventually issue that order. So I will just turn this on, and I will pop the double time. But this is really all I can do is just one of these. So speed that up. Use the speed ups, and that's, it's some points on the board, but I don't have enough to do another, like I would need another 40 fire crystals. I don't really have any place else I can get them from. So, you know, we're all out of fire crystals at this point. 40 more, you know, I could grab a couple more of the weekly deals. Is that 40 more? Let's see. Yeah, 40, basically 40 more. You know what? This isn't wasteful spend. If I grab 4 more of these deals, I'll just extend the amount of the weekly card. 10, 20, 30, 40. I'm just borrowing, you know, for tomorrow. So that gives me a whole bunch more claims. And now I have enough to do 1 more upgrade. All right. That was worth it. And that's an efficient spend right there. It's just you're not going to get the rest of them immediately. And I'll speed that up. Now that's really all I can do for today. So I'll just get another training going here. And oops, didn't pull the trigger on it. There we go. So get that training going there. Now let's see where things stand now. I don't think that would have done much for me. Yeah, that didn't put many points on the board. And like I said, if you look at these points, it looks like they held some decent fire crystal building back. So, you know, I'll just get on the board, but essentially for today is most likely what's going to happen. So the next thing, and I'll grab that. The next thing we'll do is the lucky wheel, because this is another source of points. Now, the interesting thing about the lucky wheel, I have saved up some of these from previous ones where I didn't need it. So I do have a bunch that are saved up already. And I'm not going to spend anything on it. I'm just going to use gems here. Normally, you'd only want to go up to the 120 because that's how many you need to max out the reward chests up here. I'm going to do all the spins that I can because I'm trying to put points on the board for SVS. So, you know, you got to think about what that is. Is that an efficient spend or is that an efficient use of resources? Depends what your goal is, really, right? So a lot of you have been, or some of you, I should say, have been complaining that, hey, when are you going to get back to the efficiency? I've always said I'm focused on efficiency, but not at the cost of not playing the game or not pursuing certain goals. And this is one of those types of things. This is, you know, it's SVS time. So I'm going to max this out. And I'm going to max it out knowing that this is inefficient in the sense that I already have all the flint I need. I'm basically going to have to get these shards and trade them into Tundra. So, but the only reason I'm doing this is to put some points on the board for SVS purposes. And there's some rewards that come with it as well. I don't know that they're really worth it, but I don't even, you know, to some degree, I don't even really care. I would almost rather not get flint shards because I can use the other resources for stuff. But the flint shards will be, you know, I'll trade them in as well. So all this is just to put points on the board. If I'm not mistaken, this will put about 1 million points on the board. For 150 spins. All right. And I get 10 more. Okay. And that's it. That's all I can do for today. So I'll grab my reward chests and then head over to the heroes. I've been waiting to upgrade some of this heroes, but nothing significant. So again, we'll come over into the heroes now. And because let's see, first things first, let's see what that did. All right, now, yep, did it put about 1 million on the board. So now I'm on the board at least, right? And now we go to the heroes. And let's see, I mean, almost all my heroes are maxed out. I can do Philly for some mythic usage. Can finally do some for Bahiti. I'll just do the organic ones first. Then see which ones are closest. I am going to use some for her now. Again, just to get some points for SVS. Now she's got 4 stars. I could push her farther. Not sure I really want to because I want those mythic shards for the next generation heroes. All right.
Warriors have enough sitting around. I want to go.
Listen, the wind will tell you when.
Any new weapon requests, friend?
Iron Eagles.
Any new weapon requests, friend?
Redeem some for him. To top that off.
Iron Eagles.
All right. Now,
Iron Eagles for death and honor.
I really would like to get her to 4 stars, but that's not going to happen today. So I'm going to use some of these for Siyun because I do want to get her to 4 stars. Been waiting to get her to 4 stars to improve her skill. All right, and I'm going to use some of these on Lingzhu, I think that's pronounced, because I want to get her up. I'm just going to kind of put some towards it because, you know, this will help with training skills. So, oh, I can actually do, I forgot, this goes 40 until 100. So I can do, looks like only one more. There we go. And try to push her to 4 stars so that I can increase her skills as well. So the only one left that I can push any further would be Philly. But like I said, this is probably going to be the weakest phase that I have because I have my heroes maxed and stuff. So that's just putting some points on the board. At least I have some points on the board now. Now I could get about 1.8 million more points for Philly if I max Philly out with the general shards. But that's not really going to move the needle too much. It's going to move the needle for sure. I'm going from 3 million to 4.8 million, roughly 4.7 million, something like that. So, you know, I'll get up there in the ranks a little bit. But I think what I might have to think about doing is seeing where else I can get some fire crystals and do some more fire crystal work. But that's still a big point spread for me to overcome. So I think we're still looking good overall. That's where we're looking overall still. And I still have a lot to do later in the week, but I don't know that how much I want to push today's phase. I'm just going to try to get some points on the board best I can. I'll look for other opportunities for fire crystals. I'm not going to do any of the more inefficient spending, I don't think, because it's not really going to be worth it. But if it looks like we're losing our edge for SVS, I may have to. We'll see how it goes. So here's where things stand right now. I don't think the rest of our whales have actually come online yet, so we'll see. That looks a little tight, especially at the total points, and the current day we're actually behind quite a bit. But again, I still have a lot in the tank for the rest of the week. I may have to decide to spend on some things that I didn't really want to spend on to push some more fire crystals or something like that. We'll see. Now, mind you, this is just right after the reset, so this is a very raw score. Like, a lot of gathering hasn't come in yet. A lot of our players haven't been online yet, so it does look like a little bit of a nail biter, but hopefully by midday tomorrow it won't be this close. We're going to have to see how this plays out. So stay tuned. I'll keep you informed, and I'll have to see what I have to do myself if I think we're that close and I need to do a little bit more spending to pull out some points. We'll see. So that's all I have for tonight, but make sure you stay tuned because this is looking like it's going to shape up to be a little bit of a nail biter. It looks like it might be closer than I thought. So make sure you give me a like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you get notifications whenever I post new content or when I go live. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.